The burgeoning island destination that is modern-day Cape Cocker is a far cry from what it was after being ravaged by one of the strongest and deadliest tropical cyclones to hit the colony of British Honduras in October 1961. At 10 years old, Otto Wade's life as an islander suddenly upended.
When the lightning flashed, one could see the forms, the coconut trees and things like that. And so I swam towards them gradually. The rain was as if though it's sand that was hitting you. And I remember that the sea was warm, so you were glad when the sea came over you because at least the rain wasn't pelting you. I went and held on to the coconut tree and kept going higher as was necessary, and held on there from like maybe midnight, 1 o'clock somewhere there, until morning broke and you could see what was happening around.
That image is captured in an illustration on the cover of a book written by Wade's niece. The story of how he lost his mother and 5 siblings to Hurricane Hattie and how he later found God through the Methodist faith is fascinating.
Growing up as a child, we would sit with our mom and she would be talking to us about this incident whereby she had lost her 4 aunts, a brother, her 4 sisters, a brother, and her mom in a Hattie hurricane. And I remember one specific time I had asked her if she had ever spoken, she and her brother, about Hattie, if they had sat together, and she said no, they never did speak about it.
The tragedy that befell Wade's family during the Category 5 storm was unspeakable. For many years, the events of that fateful night on Cape Cocker were resigned to his memory. Wade, now a retired pastor, vividly recounts what happened the morning after.
My father came around. He had survived, but he said that he had held on to 2 of my sisters, but couldn't hold them all that long, and finally he had to let them go. And that's when I asked about my mom, and he said that she has passed away. She's dead.
My God, the Tree and Me is catharsis for Wade and his surviving family. The book is an emotional release after decades of repressing the anger, hurt, and emptiness of grief.
It was sad, truly sad. It tugged at my heart. It brought a tear to my eyes.
Jennifer Woods Cadle, a retired educator, was inspired to tell her uncle's story and set out to publish her first literary work.
That was when I think I had the first inspiration that this story needs to be told, because it's something that obviously traumatized them because the way their life took the path that they took, and they needed to release this. And so I took it on me to write this story.
Regrettably, counseling for the kind of trauma that Reverend Wade endured as a child was not available in colonial Belize. He had to live through the anguish and seek solace in the church.
In that kind of situation, you don't have the therapy and things like that that is afforded these days when children go through that kind of trials and tribulations. But the pastors were good. There was one particular one that I am always grateful for, because having then gotten back into schooling, because for months after the hurricane there was no schooling. I was then in Dangriga and was able to go back and get back into schooling. But by the time it reached the point of going to high school, my grandmother didn't have the $8 that it was then, $8 to go to Stan Creek High. I rejoice that Almighty God knows somebody named Otto Wade.
But he would also overcome that obstacle, educate himself, and go on to become a pillar in the Methodist Church. Reverend Wade lost his family to the devastating storm. Today, he is comforted by photos of his loved ones.
The memories, the family is everything. Um, I think about my mom not having, and even my uncle, not having pictures of their mom and their siblings. And when we're not physically able to hold, pictures can bring back the memories. And so, yeah, this is why we have all these pictures around family.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.